Imagine waking up tomorrow, grabbing your phone, and seeing this headline. Elon Musk declares ownership of low Earth orbit. Sounds insane, right? Like something out of a sci-fi movie? Well, buckle up, because we're closer to that reality than you might think. Right now, 300 miles above your head, a silent war is happening. No bombs, no soldiers. Just satellites, money, and the biggest land grab, or should I say, space grab in human history. Elon Musk, Jeff Bezos, Richard Branson. These guys aren't just launching rockets for fun. They're literally dividing up Earth's orbit like it's prime real estate. And the craziest part? Most people have absolutely no idea it's even happening. But this isn't just some billionaire rivalry. What's happening up there is going to fundamentally change life down here. How we communicate, how we do business, even how wars are fought. And the wildest part, you can actually be part of this. Regular people can get a piece of the action before this explodes into a multi-trillion-dollar industry. So, in this video, I'm going to show you exactly what's going on, who's winning, what's at stake, and most importantly, how you can position yourself for humanity's next great frontier. Trust me, by the end of this, you'll never look at the night sky the same way again. Let's dive in. Okay, let's set the scene. It's December 21st, 2015. A SpaceX rocket launches from Cape Canaveral, sends its payload into orbit, and then something incredible happens. The rocket comes BACK. It flips around midair, reignites its engines, and lands itself perfectly vertical on a landing pad. The SpaceX engineers are going absolutely nuts. People are crying. Champagne is popping. This was the moment that changed everything. Before this, space was stupidly expensive. It cost about $10,000 to launch just 1 pound of material into orbit. Think about that. Your laptop, 40 grand, just to get it up there. At those prices, only governments like NASA could afford to play in space. They had a monopoly, but reusable rockets changed the game overnight. The cost dropped by 90%, then 95%. SpaceX can now launch stuff for around $1,500 a pound. When the barrier to entry drops that dramatically, everything changes. Suddenly, space isn't just for governments anymore. It's for businesses, for startups. For anyone with a good idea, the floodgates opened, and the billionaires came rushing through. So, let's talk about the main characters in this cosmic drama. Because this isn't just one person or one company. This is a full-on space race, but this time, it's billionaire versus billionaire. First up, Elon Musk and SpaceX. Love him or hate him, Elon fundamentally rewrote the rule book. SpaceX isn't just building rockets, they're building an empire. Right now, they've launched over 6,000 Starlink satellites. That's more satellites than every other company and country combined. Their goal, to blanket the entire planet with high-speed internet from space. Think about what that means. A farmer in rural Kenya gets the same internet speed as a tech bro in San Francisco. A researcher in Antarctica can stream Netflix with no lag. This is about connecting 4 billion people who currently have little to no internet access. And Starlink is already pulling in billions in revenue. It's a functioning business. Next, we have Jeff Bezos and Blue Origin. Jeff looked at what Elon was doing and thought, I'm the richest guy on the planet. No way am I letting him dominate space. So he started Project Kuiper. His plan? Launch over 3,000 satellites to compete directly with Starlink. Amazon is spending $10 billion on this. Jeff has been selling $1 billion of Amazon stock every year just to fund his space ambitions. That's commitment. Then there's Richard Branson. He's taking a slightly different approach. Virgin Galactic is focused on space tourism. They want to take wealthy tourists to the edge of space for a few minutes of weightlessness and an incredible view. Is it practical? Not really. Profitable yet? Nope. But it's laying the groundwork for an entirely new industry. In 20 years, taking a trip to space might be as normal as flying to Paris. These 3 titans are leading the charge, but they're just the beginning. The new space economy is attracting incredible amounts of capital and talent, creating opportunities that were unimaginable just a decade ago. The question is no longer if we'll become a multiplanetary species, but who will get us there and who will profit from it. We're just scratching the surface of this new frontier. It's not just American billionaires either. China is launching its own mega constellations, planning networks called Guowang and Hongyan with thousands of satellites. The European Space Agency is investing heavily. India just became the 4th country to land on the moon. Japan, South Korea, the UAE, everyone wants in. This isn't just a new space race. It's the start of space wars. And the prize? Control of the ultimate high ground. So, what are they actually building up there? We know billionaires are launching thousands of satellites, but what does that really mean? Think of it like this. Imagine Earth wearing a shell. Multiple shells. Actually, each shell is a different orbit with different purposes. First, you have low Earth orbit, or LEO. This is about 100 to 1,200 miles up, and it's where most satellites hang out. Starlink. LEO. The International Space Station. Also LEO. It's crowded, it's fast-moving, and it's the most valuable real estate in space. These satellites do everything from providing internet coverage and GPS navigation to forecasting weather and monitoring climate change. They track ships at sea, monitor forest fires, and even spy on military installations. But here's where it gets wild. Companies aren't just launching individual satellites anymore. They're launching mega constellations networks of thousands of satellites, all working together. OneWeb has launched over 600. China is planning networks of 13,000. Amazon's project, Kuiper, over 3,000. And space, they're not stopping at 12,000. Some projections have them eventually launching 42,000 satellites. Let that sink in. Right now, there are about 10,000 active satellites in orbit. We're talking about quadrupling that number in just the next decade. And it's not just communication. There are satellites that can read license plates from space, and others that can detect methane leaks from individual oil wells. The level of surveillance and data collection happening from orbit is absolutely mind-blowing. Let's talk about the thing that really matters. Money. The global space economy is currently worth about $600 billion. That's already huge, but analysts are predicting it'll hit $1.8 trillion by 2035. Some estimates go even higher, 3 trillion, 4 trillion. We're talking about an industry that could rival the entire global auto industry. So what's driving this insane growth? First, space-based internet. There are still 4 billion people without reliable internet. 4 billion potential customers. If Starlink or Kuiper can connect them, that's not just good for humanity. It's an absolute goldmine. Second, Earth observation. Governments and companies will pay big money for satellite data. Hedge funds use it to predict crop yields. Insurance companies use it to assess disaster damage. And militaries, well, you can imagine. Third, space manufacturing. In zero gravity, you can create materials that are impossible to make on Earth, like perfect ball bearings and flawless fiber optics. Companies are already testing this out. Fourth, space mining. Yes, asteroid mining is becoming a real possibility. There's an asteroid called 16 Psyche that contains enough metal to give every person on Earth $93 billion. Mining, it is still decades away, but the potential is there. And finally, space tourism. A ticket to orbit is expensive now, but prices will drop. Eventually, it could be a $100 billion industry on its own. Add it all together, and you see why billionaires are pouring their fortunes into this. They're not crazy. They're just early. But it is time for a reality check, because not everything about this space rush is sunshine and rockets. Problem 1. Space junk. Remember how I said low Earth orbit is getting crowded? That's an understatement. There are over 34,000 pieces of trackable debris larger than a softball orbiting Earth right now, plus millions of smaller pieces. Every new launch increases the risk of collisions. If 2 satellites collide, they create thousands of new debris pieces, which then hit other satellites. Scientists call this the Kessler syndrome, a chain reaction that could make space unusable. In 2021, China blew up one of its own satellites as a weapons test, creating thousands of debris pieces. The International Space Station has had to dodge debris multiple times. We're playing a dangerous game up there. Problem 2. Militarization. Space is becoming the next battlefield. The US has a space force. Russia has anti-satellite weapons. China has demonstrated the ability to destroy satellites with missiles. If a war breaks out, the first targets won't be on Earth. They'll be in orbit. Knock out a country's satellites, and you blind them. No GPS, no communications, no intelligence. The wars of the future will be won or lost in space. Problem 3. Inequality. Right now, space is being colonized by a handful of ultra-wealthy individuals and powerful nations. What happens to developing countries? There is a real risk that space becomes another arena where the rich get richer and the poor get left behind. And finally, who owns space? The Outer Space Treaty of 1967 says no country can claim celestial bodies, but it says nothing about private companies. If SpaceX builds a base on Mars, do they own it? If a company mines an asteroid, do they own the minerals? These legal questions are going to become very important, very soon. And right now, there are no clear answers. How can you, a regular person, actually invest in this new space boom? Because here's the good news. You don't need to be a billionaire. You don't even need that much money to start. You just need to know where to look. First up, let's talk about space-focused ETFs, or exchange-traded funds. Think of these like a basket of stocks. You buy one thing, but you're actually investing in dozens of space-related companies all at once. It's a great way to spread out your risk. For example, there's the Procure Space ETF, and its ticker is, get this, UFO. Yes, seriously. It holds giants like Lockheed Martin, Boeing, and Airbus. Then there's the Arc Space Exploration ETF, ticker ARKF. This one, run by Cathie Wood, focuses more on innovative companies in satellite and GPS technology. If you want broad exposure without having to pick individual winners, ETFs are a fantastic starting point. Option 2 is buying stock in publicly traded space companies directly. You've got some exciting players here. Rocket Lab, ticker RKLB, is SpaceX's main competitor for launching small satellites. They're already profitable and expanding like crazy. Then there's Planet Labs, ticker PLACE. They operate the largest fleet of Earth's observation satellites in the world, and governments and companies pay them for that imagery. And don't forget Iridium Communications, ticker I. They provide global satellite phone and data service. Proven, functioning business. Of course, there's Virgin Galactic, SPCE. It's high risk, for sure. But if space tourism really takes off, early investors could see some incredible returns. Our third option is what I call indirect plays. Remember, the space economy isn't just about rockets. It's everything that supports the rockets. Think about Amazon. They're pouring $10 billion into Project Kuiper, their satellite internet project. So, when you buy Amazon stock, you're getting a slice of the space pie. Traditional aerospace giants like Boeing and Lockheed Martin have massive space divisions. Even Nvidia is a player. They make the high-powered chips needed for AI and data processing on satellites. These companies give you space exposure, while also being diversified in other industries. And finally, option 4. Wait for SpaceX. I know, this is the big one. SpaceX is still a private company, but Elon Musk has hinted that its satellite internet division, Starlink, might eventually spin off and go public. If and when that happens, it will be one of the biggest IPOs in history. So keep your eyes peeled. You'll want to be ready for that day. Now, a quick disclaimer. I am not a financial advisor. This is a risky field, so please do your own research. Some of these companies will fail, but if you believe in the long-term potential here, getting in now could be life. The key is to think in decades, not days. So, here we are, standing at the edge of something massive. 100 years from now, historians will look back at this exact moment and say, That's when humanity truly became a spacefaring civilization. This is when we stopped just visiting space and started living there. And you are witnessing it in real time. Right now, billionaires are building the infrastructure for humanity's future above your head. It's a little terrifying, right? So much power in so few hands. So many risks. But it's also incredible. For the first time in history, space is becoming commercialized, democratized, and accessible. Your kids might grow up in a world where going to space is as normal as getting on an airplane. Here's what I want you to take away from this. You have a choice. You can watch this space race from the sidelines, or you can be a part of it. You can ignore it, or you can pay attention, do some research, and maybe even invest a little. This isn't just about rockets and satellites. It's about the future of our species. So, my challenge to you is this. Tonight, go outside and look up at the stars. Really look. Really look. And remember that thousands of satellites are zipping across that sky. Remember that the future is literally being built above your head. And ask yourself, do you want to be a part of it? If this video opened your eyes to something new, hit that subscribe button. We cover technology, finance, and how the world is changing right before our eyes. Drop a comment below and tell me, would you invest in space? Thanks for watching. Keep looking up, and remember, the sky is no longer the limit.